Hello students, is happy to meet you again through this video one more time. This time we are going to learn about the poem The Door Not Taken. Is written by Robert Frost. It is in the 600 Raintree English book. This poem is often used in all the English books. The Door Not Taken is Robert Frost is a famous American poet. He lived between 1874 and 1963, who won several awards in his lifetime for his poetry. He remains one of the most loved and most quoted American poets. The speaker stands in the woods and sees the two roads ahead of him. What is woods? Woods means the forest. Woods, woods and sees two roads ahead of him. After some thinking, he chooses one and says that is someday in the future he'll be glad that he took the road that few other people did. Right, and this is the short think of the poem. This is the warm up. This is the thing. Now, before we enter into the poem, let us discuss something about that. Have you ever think about that? If I stayed in that classroom, if I stayed with my friend, if I were with my uncle, what would happen? Now I am not being with them. Now I am not here. If I were went to a cinema theater, what would happen? Something like that. See, this is the thing is mentioned here. We know that if we go to somewhere, something might happen. If you do not go there, something might happen, right? This poet is saying his experience about that, because of this poet. The poem is written at the age of his very old age. Because of this shows the lifestyle of the poet, which was chosen by him. The road not taken. What is the road not taken? The choice he did not make. In other words, that is what called here. Here, now get into the poem. The two roads diverge in a yellow wood. What is yellow wood? And sorry, I could not travel both. Here, the narrator starts with very straight lines. Two roads diverge in a yellow wood. What is meant by yellow wood? Yellow wood means when will be the woods get yellow? In the winter season only. In the winter season, the leaves are falling. Everything getting into the color of yellow. We could have seen in the movies. We could have seen in the English movies something like that, or in the Tamil movies, and in the foreign countries, and the leaves are being yellow and is falling from the tree. That is what called here in the poet says yellow wood, because of all the trees in the forest is getting into the color of yellow, because it is the winter season. What is meant by winter season? It is end of the year. It is nearly end of the year. So this line shows the poet is almost at the end of his life. And sorry, I could not travel both. Because there were two roads. The poet chose one. So he chose on that day. Because the poet chose the poet chose only one way on the day, so he is not able to travel in both roads at the same time. We cannot do, because we cannot travel in two buses. We cannot travel in two different kind of things in the same time. So that is what this poet says. Sorry, I could not travel both, and be one traveler. Long I stood and looked down as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. To be one traveler, he wants to travel one road, and be one traveler. As he says, as a traveler has to choose one path, because we could not, as a traveler, cannot choose two paths. So then poet says, as be one traveler, long I stood. Because why he stood long time? Because he want to decide which way he has to choose. And look down one as far as I could. He is looking for the way as far as he could, because we know that if we stand in a straight road, we could see we could see some distance, and then after that, if the road gets bend, we could not see what is there. So that is what here, as far as looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. What is undergrowth? In the forest, there might be a single path, and then it goes into the trees, and then somewhere it's bent, and we cannot see there because of the trees and the bushes are hiding the path where what it is there. So that is what the poet says, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better climb. Now the poet seems to be choose one, then took the other as just as fair. He is comparing the two paths. This is being like this is being like this. So here he took the other as just as fair. Because of sometimes one road must be used by one road might be used by the people very oftenly. One road might be used by the people very occasionally. So that the difference, if people walking along a road, walking on the road always, because that road will be neat and clear. If the people did not walk on the road for a long time, it would get grasses, it would get shrubs, it would get the bushes, so that the road might be seems to be rough. This road seems to be very neat and clear. This is what the poet says. And having perhaps the better climb, because the poet says he doesn't want to choose the rough one, and although though he wants to, and also he don't want to choose the better one too, because he is looking at the both. He is comparing the both. Having perhaps the better climb, but having perhaps the better climb. What is meaning is that, but he wants to choose the better one because it was grassy and wanted bare. He is looking at another path. It was grassy and wanted bare. Wanted bare means what it means. Wanted bare, it needs to be used because the road is getting dusty. The road is full of thorns, something like the road is very occasionally used. What is occasionally? Very rarely used. This road is calling this road wants to be used by other people. Though as far that the passing there had warned them really about the same. Though as far the passing there, sometimes the people might have passed through the path, had warned them really about the same. What is meant by warn them here? The people and animals who have walked over the grass. If the people and the animals something walks over the grass, we could have put footsteps, and then when the grasses will be fell down, the grasses will be lay down. When the people walk on the grass, something like that, we could have seen on the roadside or something like that, in the single pathway, something like that. He had warned them really about the same. Now seems to be it seems to be little rough to the poet. And both that morning equally lay. Now the poet took the rest, and next morning, and both that morning equally lay. In leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. What is the meaning of this paragraph? It is very simple. And both in the morning equally. So the poet took some time to take decision which way he has to choose, and then he chose to one. And then he chose to one. In leaves, no step had trodden back. In leaves, what is the meaning of leaves? In the leaves, the leaves were fallen from the tree at the night time. There was nobody yet walk on the leaves. There is no footsteps on the leaves trodden back. Oh, I kept the first one, another part. Now the poet is looking for the path, looking at the two paths, and then he decided to take the second one, the rough one. So the poet says, "Oh, I kept the first one for another day, for another day. Yet knowing how way leads on to way." The chosen path is he doesn't know how it is going to lead the poet on the leads on the way. I doubted if I should ever come back. And the poet now doubted that he would never come back to the first one. He would never come back to the first one. The fourth paragraph, I think the fourth paragraph, the poet says, "I shall be telling with a sigh." What is I? Something like that. That is what called sigh, or is a very gasping here. That is what called. I shall be telling with a sigh. Somewhere ages and ages hence, two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one least traveled by, and that has made all the difference. Now the poet is at the end of his life. He says, "I shall be telling with a sigh. Somewhere ages and ages hence." Somewhere ages hence means somewhere long time before. Two roads diverged in a wood. He remembered the day he chose the first one, chose the second one. And I took the one less traveled by. Now the poet clearly say, "I took the path which was used by the people occasionally, very rarely." And that has made all the difference. That has made all the difference. What is the difference he feels? If he would have chose the first one, he might have become another one. Now he is become a famous poet. He got very wealthy. He get money, a lot of. He has pride, so that this poet is now feeling very well, very good about his decision. So the poet compares the life with the compares the life by this poem. What is that? There will be a chance. There will be a two roads diverse, which means we have to choose which way we are going to which studies we are going to take, and then we have to go on that with the full effort. We do not look back. What we did not choose, because of if we look back at that, we will lose our happiness. Now like this poet, we have to choose one path, whether it is rough, whether it is soft, no matter. We got to choose one path, and then we got to travel along the path with our full effort, our full energy, our full mind, and then finally we will achieve something. We will get something, and on that day we will be very happy. So that this poet says that, student, I request you to learn this poem very well. Whenever you whenever you want to watch this video, try to keep your book with you. Thank you.